Friday, the 8th day of December 2023. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch on Hope TV, the station where you look and live. You can find us streaming live on YouTube at Hope TV Kenya, where you can also give us your feedback. I'm Tess, Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Let's take a look at the day's news. President William Ruto has said that the government is re-engineering the National Youth Service to enhance its capacity and productivity. The head of state observed that the NYS has adopted a business model that will not only generate revenues to sustain its programs, but also test its outputs in the marketplace to constantly improve its relevance and competitiveness. Speaking during the 87th pass-out parade of the National Youth Service recruits in Gilgil, Nakuru County, the president added that the goal is to ensure the institution has the capacity to enroll up to 100,000 youth annually and equip them with the relevant skills to power the bottom-up economic, or rather empowerment transformation agenda.
Recognizing the place of youth in national transformation in general, and that of NYS in powering the plan in particular, we have embarked on a strategic re-engineering of the National Youth Service to enhance the capacity of the institution to take up greater numbers of trainees, position it on the path of financial sustainability through revenue generation, thereby creating the conditions to support the expansion of enrollment to 100,000 young people annually in the next 5 years. We are graduating 10,000 young people from this field. Next year, in the first cohort, it will be 15,000. In the next cohort, it will be 15,000. So next year alone, 30,000 young people from across Kenya will graduate from NYS as we position NYS as the incubator for all other arms of government. Tumeamua kama baraza la usalama katika taifa la Kenya kwamba wale wote watakaoajiriwa kwa jeshi la Kenya, kwa polisi wa Kenya, Kenya Forest Service, Kenya Wildlife Service, asilimia 80, 80% watakuwa hawa vijana ambao wamefuzu kutoka National Youth Service. Already we are concluding negotiations with Germany. We are concluding negotiations with Saudi Arabia. We are concluding negotiations with another 8 countries on export of labor. And the National Youth Service is going to be the central organization for pre-deployment training so that Kenyans understand what they need to do when they go out for work.
The Eco Network Africa, African Women Leaders Network Kenya chapter, has called for the inclusion of women in peace building and mediation processes, both locally and internationally. This comes as the organization, in collaboration with the Women Mediation Network, held their annual Women Peace Forum today, an event that brought together like-minded stakeholders in peace and mediation to review the year's progress and outline the plans for 2024. Grace Ahati reports.
Various non-governmental organizations in the country and beyond have continued to amplify the voices of women, as well as championing for their inclusion in peace-building and mediation processes in their respective communities and the society at large. To this effect, the Eco Network Africa, in collaboration with the Women Mediation Network, held its annual forum on women and peace, highlighting that women's inclusion in peace and security approaches is paramount. Speaking during the event, Eco Network Africa Head of Positioning and Democracy, Sarah Muhoya, pointed out that few women have been able to participate in mediation and peace building, however noting that it is imperative for the country to recognize the immense power and contribution of women to a peaceful society.
This is in recognition that there are very few women who are involved in peace building and in mediation. In fact, internationally, we know that it's only just about 6% of women who are involved in peace mediation interventions, and even in terms of signing mediation and peace agreements. And so it is imperative that as nations, as a country, we begin to recognize the power and the contribution of women in peace and mediation work.
On the deliberations of the forum, Eco Network Africa has welcomed the National Dialogue Committee NADCO report, however calling for gender equality in the IEBC selection panel, which is set to oversee the constitution of IEBC in order to address the pressing electoral issues in the country.
The conference welcomes the NADCO, the report by the National Dialogue Committee report, especially the practical modality for giving the country IEBC commissioners by expanding the selection panel. And we feel that this selection panel should itself have adhered to the not more than 2/3 gender rule. It should adhere to the constitutional provisions on the gender equality. The country needs the IEBC fully constituted to address the many pressing electoral-related issues.
In addition, politicians have been urged to refrain from activities that might affect the peaceful atmosphere in the country, further calling for electoral reforms to ensure a peaceful and credible election come 2027.
Women are afraid that if boundaries are recalibrated without their involvement and without the full participation of the citizenry, that could trigger violence. And therefore, we're calling on all peace actors and all duty bearers, especially our political leaders, to avoid a situation that may lead to a referendum that may further complicate our issues or the national political climate. We urge electoral reforms to be undertaken that will also ensure that the 2027 election is peaceful, credible, free, and fair.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Grace Ahati.
Thank you, Grace Ahati, for that report. The spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, has said that she will not be cowed in her stand against LGBTQ. Speaking in Kwale County during the placement of 348 youth from Mombasa County in 3 rehabilitation centers in Mombasa and Kwale counties, Pastor Dorcas said her stand is very clear and nobody will intimidate her to relent in the fight against the vice. On Tuesday this week, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi insisted that Africa as a continent is not ready to legalize LGBTQ. Speaking during the launch of Jesus Africa book by Pastor Patience Museveni, the daughter of President Yoweri Museveni, Pastor Dorcas said Africa would rather miss trade with the nations advocating for LGBTQ than legalize the vice.
Na ninasema hata leo ukiingia katika constitution 2010 constitutionally yule mtu amekubaliwa kuoa mwingine ni mzee aombe mama, si mama kwa mama au mzee kwa mzee. Constitution imekataa. Ukiingia kwa sheria zetu za Kenya zote zinaenda sambamba na hiyo katiba. Ukienda kwa Waislamu vile vile. Mungu akamuumbia mtu anafanana kama yeye, akamwambia aoe mwanamke. Hakumwambia aoe mwanaume. Na kwa hivyo tutaendelea kusema hivyo. That is my conviction. That is what I know. And that is what my God has said. And I will continue to say this. What God says is what I'll do. What man says they can do, where they are doing it, and we respect them. If in their constitution they are allowed, if their God has allowed them that, that is their God. But our God and our culture, be it Muslim, be it Christian, sisi kwa
A unique event to celebrate parents who take on the responsibility of raising children who are not biologically theirs was held today at the Das Bayern Hotel in the Kigwa areas of Kiambu County. This event has been organized by the Children's Services Department in Kiambu County in collaboration with the National Council for Children's Services (NCCS) as well as other organizations. Nicholas Kivite attended the event and has prepared the following report.
This event has brought together more than 100 foster parents from Kiambu County who have taken it upon themselves to raise children who are not biologically theirs. Speaking during the event, the coordinator of Children's Services in Kiambu County, Rose Barine, appreciated the parents while asking them to treat the children with more dignity and raise them well so that they can achieve their dreams.
Foster care has so many advantages because a child is able to live within a family. There is the issue of identity. You know, instead of living in a CCI, in a charitable children institution, now they are able to live within the family. There is that identity, being in the community, being identified with a certain community, a certain family, and also we are able to link them with safety nets which are within the community.
According to the director of Alternative Child Care Organization, research done by the stakeholders in the child care sector showed that children without families, especially those who are brought up in care institutions such as children's homes, are negatively affected in their entire lives.
Under arrangement of foster care, it is one of the alternative family care options for children without parental care. And foster care is where you take a child temporal. It's not a permanent arrangement. You take a child temporal for purposes of having that child taken care within your family. Research that has been carried out about children who have been taken care in an institution, it shows that in adulthood, these children, when these children grow into adults, they have quite a number of challenges. One, there is no that attachment. They cannot hold into relationship. And that is a research that has been done for over 80 years. Two, and one of the serious issues is that out of 10, you'll find that at least 3 end up committing suicide, even in their adulthood.
According to the chairperson of Kenya Children's Assembly, Kiambu County, the responsibility of raising children is a collective responsibility issue and now calls upon the community to unite in the responsibility of raising and defending the rights of children.
Child protection is a collective responsibility. We appreciate all foster parents. Clap for yourselves. And their families who have come forward to take in children under the foster care program. We are now calling upon many parents to open their doors to children under foster care and other forms of alternative care.
Peter Kamau, who is one of the stakeholders in the child care sector and who was brought up in a children's home, has requested people who have financial capacity to take on the responsibility of taking and raising the orphaned and abandoned children, adding that children growing up without families are greatly affected.
One of the reasons as to why I'm in this work and the organization was formed is because of my own experience growing up in a children's home for my entire childhood. And the reality is that the outcomes are not the best. A lot of children I grew up with ended in prostitution, others in criminal activities, others even in suicide, like my elder brother. And it is that experience that compels us to be in this work, to ensure that the children behind us actually can benefit from family care. So when it comes to the differences between children growing up in families and those in institutions, we have the lack of consistent attention and caregiving from a consistent adult. It is said that every child needs one adult that is joyfully mad about them. And so when you find children in children's homes, they are nearly 50 under the care of 2 people. It's very difficult to give them the one-to-one attention. It's difficult to love on them. it is difficult to meet their developmental needs.
This is the first ever event in the country that has brought together parents who are bringing up children who are not biologically theirs to appreciate the immense effort in providing alternative children care. Reporting for Op Newswatch, my name is Nicholas Kivite.
Thank you, Nicholas Kivite, for that report. And on that note, let us take a short break. On Newswatch tonight, we have plenty more coming up.
Get ready for the most electrifying gospel event of the year, Praise Atmosphere 2023, on the 9th of December at Sitam Karen, Nairobi, from 2 p.m. onward, featuring Evelyn Wanjiru, Prosper Ochimana from Nigeria, Rehema Simfukwe from Tanzania, Edith Wairimo, Celestine Donkor from Ghana, Wilberforce Musioka, Solomon Mukubwa, Kestin Bogo, and Sharon Ishavuka from Kenya. Regular tickets are available for just 1,000 shillings, 2,000 shillings at the gate, and for the children 3 to 12 years, it's only 500 shillings. VIP and VVIP tickets are also available. Visit www.praiseatmosphere.com/events or use paybill number 800-8575, account Praise. Praise Atmosphere 2023, uniting hearts in worship.
It's finally here. The breakfast show that will kickstart your morning with a message of hope, coupled up with wholesome music, and of course, captivating conversations that matter to you.
We shall touch on topics on law, relationships, the Christian walk, and in addition, we will also be keeping you up to date with news and all the trending topics.
Join me, Bishop Watare,
and me, George Gishuru, every Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Hope at Dawn.
Only on Hope TV, where you look
and live.
Welcome back. Now, the much anticipated Praise Atmosphere 2023 is set to happen tomorrow, the 9th of December, starting at 2 p.m. at Sitam Karen. The host of the event, renowned gospel musician Evelyn Wanjiru, has welcomed all to the worship event, saying that God has been faithful despite the harsh economic times. Among other guest artists who will feature in the event include Tanzanian artist Rehema Simfukwe, Nigeria's Prosper Ochimana, Kenya's Ishavuka Sharon, Edith Wairimu, Kestin Bogo, Solomon Mkubwa, Wilberforce Musioka, and Karura Voices. Tickets to the event, which happens annually, have been going for 1,000 shillings and will be selling tomorrow at 2,000 shillings at the gate.
We are doing the event Praise Atmosphere again this year, the 5th edition, and I just want to welcome Kenyans to be part and parcel of this. It's happening tomorrow. We've called musicians across East Africa and Africa, and so I'm really looking forward to have an experience in the presence of the Lord. I know the Kenyan gospel industry has really done so well in our generation, and I'm really excited that I'm part of this generation to just raise a standard and raise a voice in our nation.
We're just vessels that are being used by God. I know we are anointed vessels, but when you're coming, just come and expect God to minister to you.
Hii ni mara yangu ya kwanza, so I am so excited. Thank you my sis. Ninashukuru sana pia wa Kenya, na tunashukuru kwa utumishi huu ambao Mungu ametuita. Tunaamini hiyo kesho kuna jambo litazaliwa katika nchi ya Kenya.
Indeed, a much anticipated event that is deemed very great by worshippers in Kenya. Find your way there to Sitam Karen tomorrow in the afternoon. Moving on, the County of Bungoma has initiated, or rather, I beg your pardon, people with disability in West Pokot County have expressed their difficulty in accessing essential services in public places, citing the move as a failure of the government to improve their lives. The leaders of the area, however, have called on government and non-government organizations to put in place appropriate strategies to take care of the disabled, despite the county being one of the counties with various challenges, including lack of security. Here's our reporter Regan Mudhuri with that report.
People with disabilities in West Pokot County have expressed their difficulty in accessing essential services in public places, citing the move as a failure of the government to improve their lives.
Watu wetu walemavu tujaribu kuhakikisha kwamba tunawapatia vipaumbele katika nafasi za kazi na masilahi yao.
The leaders of the area, however, have called on government and non-government organizations to put in place appropriate strategies to take care of the disabled, despite the county being one of the counties with various challenges, including lack of security.
Tuko na shule chache hapa katika kaunti ya West Pokot ambayo inashughulikia hawa walemavu. Tuko na shule moja hapa ya Blinds Kapenguria, na vile tuko na ingine Bobleo pale Kanglikwan na Keringet. Kama kuna uwezo kutoka kwa partners ambao wamefika hapa na serikali kuu, mkuje mtusaidie ili kwamba tuweze kushikilia hawa.
Madam Waziri pamoja na under leadership yake governor wetu wa West Pokot hapa Mnagei, tuko na special schools mingi, lakini hata hivyo tumejaribu, kwa sababu ukiona budget ya kwanza ya under governor Kachapin tuliweza kujenga mashule, tulisupport mashule special schools hapa Keringet, tulijenga madarasa.
Some of the leaders saying that most of the people in the county are disabled following attacks from livestock thieves from neighboring counties who shoot at them and leave them with serious injuries, a situation that contributes to the improvement of their health every day.
My ministry, in collaboration with the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics and organizations of and for persons with disabilities, among other stakeholders, also support needs assessment of persons with disabilities and their primary caregivers. The main objective of the assessment is to provide evidence on the met and unmet support needs of diverse persons with disabilities and their family members, to inform them of the design of inclusive social protection schemes. My ministry will work with partners to implement the various recommendations in the report. Another great milestone in the disability fraternity is the onboarding of the registration of persons with disabilities on the e-citizen, in line with the government's directive to digitize public services to enhance service delivery and efficiency.
The main objective of the assessment is to provide evidence on met and unmet needs of people with disabilities and inform the design of social protection schemes. West Pokot Governor Simon Kachapin insists that during his administration, he will ensure that people with disabilities have a reason to smile.
Mimi kama county pelekea kushirikiana na mashirika wote, serikali kuu na wale wote wametusaidia kuona kwamba walemavu wamepata haki vile ingetakikana. Kwa hivyo waziri, mstahili kusema mengi, mstahili kusema yale viongozi wengine wamesema.
Regan Mudhuri, Hope TV, Newswatch.
Much appreciated, Regan, for that report. The County of Bungoma has initiated a cleanup program to save the taxpayer money from a large number of ghost workers. The county's governor, Kenneth Lusaka, speaking at an event for the county's Secretary General, William Mukhanu, said that there is a portion of money being paid to the dead. Lusaka has warned public officials against corruption, saying that there are ongoing investigations into corruption allegations.
There are chances that there's also corruption in our payroll. And I've invited the council to your first job is to do what we call cleansing our payroll. We have already written to Nairobi and have sent a team of 7 people to come and assist us cleanse our payroll. Kuna watu wanalipa mshahara na walikufa. Kuna watu wanalipa mshahara na walihama, waliretire. So we want to make that saving. It's true. You will be shocked when the results come out. So these are the things we want to root out because we can save a lot of money and recruit very many other people wapate kazi kutokana na ile pesa tutafanya saving from hao watu ambao wanalipwa and they are not in our system. So I want us to when you come in, let us move with speed so that we get the optimum numbers of the people that we have here. Mambo ya casuals has been talked about. I think we are finalizing. The problem is when you go to court. Na mheshimiwa speaker amezungumza. When you go to court, the court process is long and we cannot short circuit a process that has gone to court. But luckily we have already filed our returns, and God willing by next month, which is January, we should be able to get the right casuals wapewe kazi yao, mabaro zao waweze kufanya hiyo kazi. We are ready, just that we are waiting for the court to make its own pronouncement on that matter.
The National Assembly's Security Committee has today visited the county of West Pokot to assess the security situation in the county's borders. The committee, led by Acting Chairman D. Doraso, who is also the Member of Parliament for Saku, said the security situation in the region would be greatly improved by NPR reservists who would be deployed to the area. The committee also noted how insecurity has affected education and displaced locals, pledging to take the recommendations to the National Assembly to develop effective strategies to address insecurity.
The government, early this year, they did a deployment of forces. We wanted to establish and find out in detail the success or challenges that operation is facing, and also we'll be able to talk to the communities and troops in these disturbed areas. We are happy that this morning we are able to meet with the governor, who has also briefed us on the security situation in the county, and also the county commissioner, who has given us a detailed brief on what is happening, the current situation, and also the success and challenges of the current ongoing operation, but also importantly, both the governor and the county commissioner are telling us what are the possible things that, if the national government is going to do, will be able to ameliorate the situation and also improve the security situation in the county and also the neighboring counties where there have been incursions and excursions along the common internal boundary between the different counties.
In order to keep hope alive in the airwaves, Hope Media has a couple of initiatives. Friends of Hope. Friends of Hope is you and I forming a team of well-wishers and volunteers who give in cash and kind to support in spreading the gospel at Hope Media. Currently, Hope Media is running a campaign under Friends of Hope dubbed 100 for 1. Through the campaign, Hope Media is asking Hope FM and Hope TV listeners and viewers to give just 100 shillings in order to reach one more soul with the message of hope and the gospel. Engage with us on our social media platforms at Hope FM Live and at Hope TV Kenya. Kuwa rafiki mso leo.
Welcome back. In a significant gesture of support for the well-being and development of young girls, Air France KLM has today partnered with the Art of Music Foundation to distribute sanitary towels or pads to participants in the Junior Mentorship Program. The initiative is part of Air France KLM's ongoing commitment to community transformation. The Art of Music Junior Mentorship Program, a subsidiary of the Art of Music Foundation, is designed to provide young adults in primary and secondary school with opportunities for physical, emotional, and spiritual growth. Over the past 5 years, the program has impacted 120 youth aged 12 to 22 years from two of Kenya's largest slums, that is Korogocho and Mukuru. These members during school holidays engage in transformative journey that empowers them, offering encouragement for personal growth and aiding in the setting and achievement of professional goals. In a groundbreaking development for regional trade, the East African Community EAC Secretariat today unveiled a new mobile application dedicated to the elimination of non-tariff barriers, the EAC NTBS app. This innovative app is set to revolutionize the region's trading landscape by streamlining the reporting, monitoring, and resolution of impediments traders face as they conduct business across borders. The development of the EAC NTBS app was funded by the Netherlands through Trademark Africa. The EAC NTBS app, seamlessly blending SMS, email, and phone reporting methods, offers economic operators a one-stop solution for effectively reporting non-tariff barriers to trade. By streamlining the NTB reporting process, the app will aid traders and producers in tackling obstacles that impede their trade efficiency and competitiveness. And that story wraps up Newswatch tonight. On behalf of the whole crew, thank you for watching. I'm Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Friday Frenzy is coming up next. Have a good night.